Hello there, my name is Collin R, and I am a student with some pre-college courses on 3D animation along with other such multimedia classes. They say that one of the best ways to learn something is to try and teach it to someone, and so I am creating this video tutorial on 3D modeling here. I believe I myself have got the modeling down pretty well, but later on, actually not too far from now, I am expecting to attempt to animate a 3D film, like a little short film, maybe 10 minutes long, I don't know. It's the first real animation film I am going to make. It's going to be based off of this game here, this little game. I'm sure a lot of you will recognize it. It's called RuneScape. I got into RuneScape back in 2001, and it inspired me to become a game designer. And yeah, I'm going to make a little film about it by animating my characters, not in the way he was dressed at the moment, and making a film out of it. So periodically, if you will excuse me, I'm probably going to be checking back to switch fishing spots when they die. So here is Blender. I believe this is 2.6. There are better versions available right now, but if I go here and type in Blender 3D to Google, try and open it up, look at this, it doesn't load. Oh, it loaded, it didn't load last time. Interesting. So once you're on this website, there's some really cool things you can go to. You can check out some of their other projects like Sentinel, I forget what this bunny is called, but they have lots of other films that they've made under the gallery section here. You can watch the movies, and they're really interesting. I suggest you take a look at them so you can see what Blender is capable of. Most places say that you should learn Maya for a 3D editing program, but Maya is like a $700 program or something like that, and Blender is free and can do pretty much all the same stuff. So you will come to the website and go to download, and you can choose either 32 or 64-bit. So this is the 2.62 version. Not sure if I want to download it right now because my laptop has a problem with Blender where if I try and open up user preferences, it crashes. And it's been doing that for pretty much every version I have attempted to use on this laptop. If you do not know how to check your Windows bit rate, I think is how they call it, you right click on the desktop, go to graphic properties. My poor computer's back to 100% CPU, I'm sorry. Go to display settings, and here you will see that mine is a 32-bit, so I would download the 32-bit one. And maybe that should make my computer a bit more happy. So I would download this 32-bit version here. You can either get the zip file or the installer. It's just two different ways to get them. And then, when you open up Blender, you get a little picture thing, and you go ahead and click on the Blender window to get to this area. I will quickly go over the interface here for you. Down here at the bottom, you have the timeline. Woo, nothing really happens right now because there's no animation made. We're only going to be focusing on modeling at the moment. Here's your 3D window. Here's some of your tools on the side for modifying things. I'm going to extend this out. This is the default layout that Blender gives you, and I'm not quite used to it. I mean, things are mostly where they're supposed to be, but I'm used to like hitting spacebar, and instead of this coming up, this comes up, and I like it much better. That's what user preferences will get you. Many things, many good things that I am not allowed to use right now. For who knows what reason, I've been trying to figure out why mine closes when you click on user preferences, and no one has an answer. Over here you have some really simple object tools. So again, scoot this down. Yeah. I don't like using these very much. The only one I like to use over here is smooth and flat, and occasionally there will be a button that says like remove doubles that's helpful for other things. You can change these around, these buttons. Like if I wanted the timeline at the top, I could click on this one, with the timeline. I got a big timeline there, and then switch this from the 3D view. Not too interested in doing that right now though. And so the first things you will do here in this program, no, let's not do that yet. I will explain to you that you need a 3-button mouse for this program. The left click moves the cursor around. The cursor doesn't really do oh so much. Nope, that is the save button I meant to hit. Okay, I just learned that my screen recorder actually stops when I hit the shift button. So I talked for about an hour earlier. In the first attempt I did that, you were just watching the second attempt, in fact. And I have fixed that, I believe. So onto what I was explaining, you need a 3-button mouse to navigate your way through Blender. The first is for selecting stuff and moving the, not for selecting things, the left mouse button is for moving the cursor, 3-dimensional cursor. And so just put this back right here real quick. That's not what I want to do. Center. Then you need the right click for selecting things such as the cube and the lamp. And somewhere around here is a camera. There it is. The right mouse button is for selecting things. The middle mouse button is for zooming in and out, rotating the camera around. If you hold down shift, you can go up and down by scrolling up and down, and if you hold down shift and actually click on the middle mouse button, you can drag the space around. I think that's about it there. So, let me just check back here. I almost have a full pack. I'll probably just let him go to the lobby now. You can wait. Okay. So, for the basics of modeling in 3D Blender, we start out with this 3D cube. And there is a few shortcut keys you might want to write down. There's about 5 or 6 of them. I didn't take the time to count, so don't check me on that. The first one I will show you is the letter G, which stands for grab. And when you press G, you can move the mouse around, and the object you have selected will move around. Ctrl Z, put it back. Then you have the R button. You probably want your mouse away from what you have selected before you press R. And it is the rotate button. And the reason why you want your mouse out is because if I were to have it right near the middle, then rotating it would be all weird, because the closer it is to the middle, the faster it rotates. But if I were to drag it way out here, I can be way more precise. Then you have S for scale, just like that. And then along with those, say you don't want it to scale in every direction all at once. That is the save button. I keep doing that. I am actually typing in the dark, believe it or not. As you can see down here, it's 9:35. So let's say I want to only scale it in the direction along this green line here. Down here near the bottom left, you can see that there is a little graph that shows you which direction is which at all times as you rotate your view around, your FOV, field of view. And as we can see, that the Y is the green. This graph down here is kind of like the graphs you would see in math, because if I go to the top view here, you will see a Cartesian coordinate plane, which is the Y-axis and the X-axis, and all the points in between. But this is 3D, meaning we now have a Z-axis, which is this blue here. And so if we want to scale it along only the y-axis here, we hit S for scale, and then Y for that axis. And you can scale it in that direction only. No matter how you move your mouse, it's moving in that direction only. This also works for X and Z. Now if I get back to regular cube, I can do rotate and do X, which rotates it along the axis, meaning it's going to spin in only this direction. I can do all three X, Y, and Z for rotating and grabbing too. So I can do like up and down, go back, do like further, close, lejos and cerca, and all that kind of stuff. I probably butchered that. Sorry, my Spanish is not very well. Okay, now that that's out of the way, an easier way to do that is with these buttons down here. There will be like a little graph looking thing here. You click on it, opens up three options. The first one is the grabbing tool. The next one is your rotation tool, and I usually use this for rotating. Easy and accurate. And this one is your scale. Now, if you're trying to work fast, you can actually hold down Shift and select them all. It really kind of obstructs your view of what you're looking at, but you can move it, scale it, and rotate it all in one go. Just about.